Hello all, and I'm back! Yes, we're actually gonna try to, if this will work, and I think I figured out what the issue was with the audio, and it's been with the audio for a while. Yeah. Logitech's website sucks, and apparently their updater sucks, so yeah. So, now that we've got that taken care of, hopefully, I will actually finish, the review that I did last night. We'll start with Naito versus, and again, I'm going to basically include all the information I included last night. So if you come around this video, but I will include a link to the first part of the video, and then talk about this and some other stuff too. So, lots of links at the bottom. The Voices of Wrestling ebook, which again, if you want to kind of learn and read up on New Japan, excellent way to do so. All of the video packages that Global Force Wrestling did with Matt Striker, they're down there, and then I will also include, when I get to the end of this, I will talk about that, which was kind of, well, basically New Japan's version of the Raw after WrestleMania, which is what was it? New Year's Dash is what they called it, and I'll talk about that because it set up lots of stuff. But anyways, let's get on with Wrestle Kingdom and what the audio went bye-bye with last night. So, AJ Styles and Naito, that's what I was talking about when the video went out. So they set up this match by saying that the Styles Clash is the dreaded, craziest, most dangerous move in pro wrestling right now, and should it be banned and all of this. So they're basically setting up the Styles Clash. This was really more of a way to really put AJ over really well, to set up, we found out, which we thought, I think everyone thought when they saw this as big as they put AJ over, was to take on Takahashi and go get his rematch for the IWGP Championship. So, yeah, so this was pretty much Naito, who, I like Naito, but I think Naito needs to be a heel. The fans, they care about him, but they don't care about him, if you know what I mean. They want him to be a little bit more, I think if you added a little edge to him, I think he would be a lot better. And, but anyways, there was no, not that I remember anyways, I don't think there was any shtick with the Bullet Club in this match. Basically, they just had a match, and it was really, really good. And like I said, they kept setting up the Styles Clash, and there was actually a sequence with the calf cutter that was awesome, really, really good. And yeah, so you had all of that going on, and then they ended the match with, after, they hyped up the Styles Clash, the most dangerous move in pro wrestling. What do? They do a Styles Clash off the second rope, which made it even that much more, and luckily, Naito did not tuck his head, so he did not kill himself. And yeah, so great match. I mean, I don't know, great. It was very, very good. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was quite great. It was missing just a little bit of something, but just really, really good stuff. So anyways, then we get to the co-main events, which everyone got pissed off because that's when the audio went out, was talking about this. So you had Ibushi taking on Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. And one thing about New Japan is, they pretty much, and they've elevated the Intercontinental Championship as really the championship like B. I mean, it's not just like the B title. It's pretty much this championship, and you're going to see it on New Beginnings already, where it's going to main event the second show of New Beginnings. New Beginnings will be 2 shows, but we'll get into that later. So, and he's main evented stuff before. I mean, it's Okada, Tanahashi, and Nakamura. And it's probably really Nakamura, Okada, Tanahashi, maybe in that way, but pretty close. Everything's pretty close to each other, and all of that stuff. And so, anyways, let's keep going here. Ibushi was challenging him for this title, and again, the title is, way elevated. Wish WWE did that with one of their other titles. And so this was really great. Ibushi lost, but in this loss, he became a much bigger star, as they had a match that was amazing. Okada, before Wrestle Kingdom, had said him and Tanahashi would have a 6-star match. I don't think they had a 6-star match. I think they had a damn fun, amazing match, but this was probably closer to a 6-star match. This was one of those matches. This is going to be a match that people are going to be talking about years from now, because it pretty much made Ibushi. It turned Nakamura maybe into the #1 guy in a match. Was just awesome. Ibushi was stealing a lot of Nakamura's moves and mannerisms and all this stuff, so that was great, and it was just great. It was just awesome. It was this is just an awesome match, and it was like, oh my god, how is Okada and Tanahashi going to follow this up? This is literally, you know, there's always that joke of what is it, WrestleMania 25, where you know, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels go out, they do their match, and then Triple H always has said, well, the reason why me and Orton, you know, did so poorly was because we had to go on after that, forgetting, of course, that, you know, there was a match in between with Cena and I think it was, what is it, Cena, Edge, and Big Show. I think that's what it was. I can't remember. I know it was Big Show and Cena, and it was somebody else. And they went out there, and they went directly after Shawn and Taker, and they had the crowd. I was there live. People were still excited. People were all this stuff, and then, of course, that happened. But anyways, that's another issue. But anyways, they went on after this match, and everyone was like, holy shit, how are they going to top this? And they didn't, but goddamn, they came close. This match, wow, that was a very different type of match. It was long. It was a little bit slower paced. There was a lot more, I would say, storytelling elements to it, particularly after the match. This was just awesomeness. It was insanity. You know, JR, as I said in my other video, JR and Stryker did very well as far as commentary. They did miss the fact that Tanahashi kicked out of the Go to Sleepless Enemy, the Rainmaker, which I don't believe anyone's ever done. That was a big freaking deal. You had these reversals of tombstones. You had Tanahashi jumping not just to the outside, but to the outside, over the barricade, onto Tanahashi, which was insane. Just an awesome here and then after the match, Okada was crying, was weeping. He was all sad because he'd lost. You know, here he was at the Dome, and he wanted to win this title so bad because it was important. Because the title's important. Because the guy's crying, so the title's important. So now you care about the title even more. You know, everything that I hate about WWE, this match had. This match had everything. You know, everything I hate had the exact opposite. It was everything that I want WWE. This had. Just was awesome stuff. It had two co-main events that, like I said, it's not even, you know, it's insane. I mean, it was insanity on all of it. And when you top those two matches, because you're not going to, me and Brian, next big thing. We were talking today, and he asked me, he goes, do you remember ever having two matches this good back to back? And I had to think, and I'm thinking, well, I don't remember, because I don't think any there may have been an All Japan show that had two co-main events that did this, but they probably then had sucky undercards. So that's possible that I'm just not remembering. I don't think so. You of course have Dream Slam, and it's not really fair to bring Dream Slam up and compare it to really anything else. It just isn't. But the fact that you have to compare it to Dream Slam says a lot about this show. This show was just fucking incredible. I mean, I've not been like this. I haven't seen people like this about a show, particularly a major show, since probably WrestleMania 17. Are there better wrestling shows. There probably is, but there's not probably better spectacle shows from this. And we really didn't get a lot of spectacle on this. That's my one downer on this. But the wrestling was so good, and the rest of the show was so good, and it was paced so well, and we did get some spectacle stuff, so I can kind of forgive that a little bit. But we didn't get a lot of spectacle because of the time restraints. Because this is a show that probably, if not for the American pay-per-view, probably would have been a 6-hour show. To be honest, 5 hours probably would have been fine, and with 5 hours, you probably would have gotten more of your crazy intros. But we got enough of the we got Suzuki's little entrance, which was awesome for those of us that understood it. You got Tanahashi and Okada were treated like megastars. Nakamura's entrance was pretty damn good, so and awesome. So yeah, so you have all that stuff, and so yeah, this show was just awesome. You need to see it. It's just that good. People are going to be talking about this show for a long, long time. I feel it was just an awesome, awesome show. So anyways, this is kind of funny. So I had to work kind of late tonight, so I didn't get home to watch Raw. Not that I would have watched Raw, but I had heard people talk about the fact that they were going to not watch Raw and watch New Year's Dash, or New Year's Dash, I think is the name that New Japan gave the Kurikan Hall show after, which happened late last night, and this is kind of the Raw after WrestleMania, their show. Now, the show itself wasn't all that great. There was some good stuff on it, but there was a couple of things. It set up a lot of stuff. It looked like it was setting up Tiger Mask versus Liger for the NWA Lightweight Championship, or Junior Heavyweight Championship, whatever they call it, for the NWA. But that wasn't the case. It's going to be another, whoever the guy was that Liger beat for it. So we didn't really get that, but it did set up Nakamura versus Nagata, which will headline, it looks like, the second New Beginning show, because they're basically going to split the shows up, which isn't a bad thing. They did that last year as well, I believe. And it looks like we're going to get Tanahashi versus Styles, and a bunch of rematches from Wrestle Kingdom. So not too many New Beginnings, to be honest. But it did set up a lot of stuff, and it was a good show. I felt, particularly for a minor show that was just, kind of there, and it was fun, and there was really, I don't think there was anything bad on the show, to be honest. There was a lot of just there, okay, but there was nothing, nothing bad. The opener was Taichi and Taka Michinoku taking on Tiger Mask and Sho Tanaka. So yes, Sho Tanaka got to actually be with the big boys. Did pretty good. Match was okay. Wasn't anything to write home about, but was a nice little opener. So there you go. Then you got reDRagon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish taking on the Forever Hooligans. They've had better matches, I think. I think they've had better matches with each other. I'm pretty sure, because probably any match they've had was probably better than this. Not that this was a bad match, just wasn't that great of a match. And though Rocky Romero did come out in his Black Tiger outfit, or his mask, which was kind of awesome, if you understand what that was. So there was that. Then we had Suzukigun taking on, which was Suzuki, Iizuka, Lance Archer, Davey Boy Smith, and Shelton Benjamin taking on Honma, Kojima, Tenzan, Nakanishi, and Captain New Japan. This was just a wild freaking brawl, which eventually ended with Captain New Japan taking the Killer Elite Squad's killer bomb, and getting killed. It did seem to set up Suzuki versus Honma, which that could be a very interesting feud. I wish Suzuki could get better stuff, but at the same time, that could be just a fun feud, because the fans love Honma so much, and while they really like Suzuki, he's really a heel, and they really like to not like him. So yeah, that could just be kind of just awesome stuff. Then, like I said, you had the Jushin Thunder Liger taking on El Desperado. This was the match that was kind of hyped for this show because it wasn't on the New Japan show and or Wrestle Kingdom, and a lot of people thought it was going to be, and then it got kicked off to here. And this was good. It wasn't anything great, but it was good. They went out there and they kind of did their thing. You know, it was kind of wacky and this and that, but it was Liger being Liger and Desperado being Desperado, and they had a match that wasn't anything horrible. So there you go. You did have some outside info. You know, there was this might not be everyone's favorite, but again, it was okay. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I'll put it that way. Then you had Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on Taguchi and the Time Splitters. This was, again, good. Wasn't great. Probably not as good as people thought it would be. But it was, you know, it was nothing horrible. And pretty much just set up Kenny Omega and Taguchi rematch. And I believe we're going to get Time Splitters and Young Bucks and reDRagon in a three-way at one of the New Beginning shows. So we had that. You have Bad Luck Fale and Tama Tonga taking on Okada and Yano. This basically set up a Okada versus Bad Luck Fale match, which I'm not looking too forward to. But I'm imagining they're just going to do the Okada, you know, goes back up the ranks type of thing, which, you know, nothing really kind of wrong with that. Then we had Nakamura, Ishii, Yoshihashi, and Ibushi, or Yoshihashi taking on Ibushi, Makabe, and Nagata. Again, this set up the Nakamura and Nagata match, which will be at New Beginnings. So this was really good. Set up a really good kind of match that pretty much I think everyone would like. Then we had Shibata, Goto, and Tanahashi taking on and Naito taking on AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, and Yujiro. This was good. Not anything I think anyone would jump up and down about, but again, good. Set up AJ Styles versus Tanahashi, which was the point of this whole show. This show was a show to set up stuff further down the line, which, you know, again, the one thing I will say about this, this was, from what I saw, this sounded like it was 1,000 times better than Raw. But at the same time, I would say that the other part of it is that this is the format I wish Raw would do more of. One of the things that, you know, a lot of people complain with WWE, and I completely agree, and there's ways around it. That's just the thing that I don't get, is you get a lot of the same matches, you know, and then, you know, they throw the exact same matches on pay-per-view, where they could easily do, even with SmackDown, even if you're going to do Raw and SmackDown, because you could easily do 6-man and 8-man tags. You could even do maybe some 10-man tags if you really wanted to, but you could definitely do 6 and 8-man tags. You could do tags with guys that don't normally tags, and then you could do you know, singles matches with guys that normally don't do singles matches, that are tag teams. You can do all of that. And yes, maybe we become a little too formulaic, and you're getting the same type of stuff all the time. But those matches, I think, do a better job of building up a feud and building up so that you want to see a match between two particular guys, so that when they get to pay-per-views, because they still have pay-per-views, as much as they hate to admit they still have pay-per-views, and if you order the pay-per-views, you're called an idiot and a moron, and why would you order it from this company anyways, instead of just buying the network BS that we always get, which, by the way, you didn't get at Wrestle Kingdom at all. I mean, there's reasons for that, of course, but you didn't get that. You didn't get JR going, oh, by the way, you idiots that are watching this, for, you know, 9.99 yen, you could have got New Japan World and would have been a lot cheaper, and you get it for all this stuff. But you're all morons and you bought the pay-per-view. Didn't get that. Probably wouldn't get that even if New Japan wanted you to get that. Not getting that. But yeah, so we got all that. But yeah, so this is the kind of the format I wish it was. Again, wasn't a great show. Was an okay show. Set up a lot of stuff, which was the point of the show. This show like this, and the shows that will probably be like this, which will lead up to New Beginning, and of course we'll get Fantastic Mania as well. You know, which is completely kind of weird thing with CMLL, and I'm not even sure what we're getting from it yet, but it's kind of this weird, fun show that they put on, and we'll get 2 of those. You know, those will be on there too. So if you signed up for New Japan World, you're going to get some good stuff. And I would recommend, if you did, watch this, particularly if you didn't like Raw, because I think you'll like this a little better. The wrestling was better. The storytelling was better. They did add, I forgot to mention this, Bullet Club. I'm not the biggest Bullet Club fan because, though I get the Bullet Club. I get the point of the Bullet Club. Bullet Club is, I think they went a little overboard last year early on with the Bullet Club stuff, especially with the run-ins and all of that. And I think they've kind of toned back. It's supposed to be, you know, the NWO, D-Generation X. It's supposed to be that American-style version of it in New Japan. That's what it's supposed to be. And so they added Scott Hall's son, who was a young boy in New Japan. They added him to the Bullet Club as kind of the Bullet Club young boy. So, which is, you know, I'm fine with that. I don't have any problems with it. It really just depends on how much, you know, the Bullet Club interferes. And even with that, I'm okay with it on small doses, kind of, you know, like that, because it does add a little bit. It adds some differences to it, and the Bullet Club is crazy over as far as merchandise goes. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, people that were at the Dome show themselves have said this, that there was you know, Bullet Club merchandise everywhere. So, yeah, so people can moan and complain, but you know, they're making money, and that's what that's what it's about. So, there we go. And I guess that's about it. I think I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So, anyways, with that, I'm out. Have a good one. Later. Maybe. Yes, later.